Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. Welcome back to another live show, and I hope that everything's going coming through smoothly here. I'm actually using YouTube's new interface. I don't have my live chroma key going. I'm playing with a different camera angle, just testing the audio, testing the bandwidth. So far, I'm showing green, and with that being the case, you may be seeing this as high as 1080p. In the past, because of network congestion and other factors in my configuration, I wasn't able to go past 720p, but it looks like I'm still staying strong at 1080p, so that's encouraging. Does the audio sound good? Does the video look okay? Give me some H2O. There's also let's see, there's some new features here. YouTube's really updated their live streaming piece, and I don't know if that's what's enabling me to get by with this, to get away with this 1080p or not. But type some comments. I can see your comments. Also, I can see your super chats. If you choose to do a super chat, I can see that as well. I've upgraded to, you can see right here is one monitor, but I've upgraded the studio to dual monitor. And then if I pop my laptop open, I've got 3 monitors, so it's a lot easier to see y'all in front of this screen. And then over here, I've got my live streaming dashboard, which what I'm going to do, because I have a wireless keyboard and mouse, what I'm going to do, and you can see that table back there behind me, when I do these live shows with the green screen, that's where I usually sit. So what I need to do is configure this so that I can export, or not export, but to, I've got a large 1080p monitor at the other end of the room. And actually you can see it back there past the treadmill. So what I want to do is sit at my desk and do the live chroma key, but be able to see your comments on the TV. So if I'm reading your comments, I can read them from the TV, and it's going to make things a lot more streamlined. Again, I'm always trying to improve the production quality of these live streams. It's been a task that I've been working on for, to be frank, I've been working on it for the past few years, and I think I finally almost got the setup perfected. So far, the bandwidth has not been an issue. I'm showing the stream is at 48. It's going up to 4885 kbps, fluctuating between there and about 3200. So it's staying strong. There's a lot of there's so many new features in this. At first I was kind of afraid of the new YouTube live streaming interface, but this is my first time using it, and I'm trying to poke around here and see where everything is. But I mean, so far this is looking really good. I'm just looking through the settings here, and let's see, analytics. Got a lot of people tuning in, and my analytics within, I'm looking at this other monitor. Let's see. Yeah, we got people dialing in here. And I say dialing in because I'm old school. If you don't remember dialing in, you don't remember modems. What modems were, if you remember America Online, CompuServe, Prodigy, and those types of services, back before we had broadband internet, you had to use this box that connected to a phone line, and it would go as fast as 56K. And what that would do is enable you to get online. And that was back the early days of the internet. And actually back before that, modems were used. I ran a multi-node bulletin board service, which people could call in. It was pre-internet, but it was like an internet. You had messaging, you had live chat, you had shareware downloads, you had door games, which were text-based role-playing type games. So that was kind of pre-internet. So I'm still stuck in the age of dialing in, and I realize you aren't dialing into this live broadcast. You're connecting by way of the internet, but it's still kind of cool. And what's really cool is that I'm seeing all of this in here, and I'm going to play with something else too. Well, no, I'll save that for another show. But I've got a wireless mic. Is this audio good? This audio is coming through a pro quality USB mic. Does it sound really good? And see, I can adjust the lighting too. Check this out. I'm going to tweak the lighting here. Got a light over here. It's going to make it look even better. I don't want to get too much light where it's washed out. But see, now we've got lighting. What I really need is to install a light up there so it's shining towards me, and that'll make things even better. But I think what I can do, I've got a lot of, let's see. Yeah, I've got an available HDMI port because I'm running an eGPU. So what I should be able to do is run an HDMI cable from here to the large TV. See a lot of y'all tuning in here. Type a message in the chat. I want to see if my chat's working. Because again, I'm in a different interface here. Usually I'm in the I'm looking at YouTube. Now I'm looking at YouTube, but I'm looking at I guess you call it sort of an administrative interface for YouTube. Hello, test chat message. So yeah, if you see that hello test chat message, type a message within the live stream's comments, and I want to see if that'll pop up. What I'm going to do now is grab an HDMI cable. I've got a super long HDMI cable that I'm going to grab. If I can get it here, I think I've got an HDMI cable. I hope I have an HDMI cable. My box of cables here. Yep, so see, that's HDMI. So what I need to do is run an HDMI cable from back there over to here, which is this right here is the 1080p. I know it's not 4K, but it's a 1080p TV. So in theory, what I should be able to do is run HDMI cable from the external GPU and then plug into that and be able to monitor these live shows. So that's going to be super cool. And I think I can do that. The one problem is this HDMI cable is not long enough, so I'm going to have to order a longer HDMI cable. Yeah, maybe if I put it in, maybe if I combine a few of these. I don't know. That's a display port. So yeah, this is going to be cool once I get it set up. And honestly, what I probably need to do is replace that 1080p with a 4K. These 4Ks are so cheap right now. Let's see what we got here. So yeah, this is the new studio, and you can see a lot of stuff's undergoing updates. This carpet, this up here, is about to be replaced with a fake hardwood. And what I'm going to do with that is, once I get the fake hardwood in here, then I'm going to work on those foam type pieces to put on the wall to to improve the acoustics. And I hope this audio is really good, but, again, it can always be better. Yeah, we got tons of people tuning in. Really quiet crew today. Let me see. Let me see if we're seeing these comments here, or if you're able to comment. I'm going to go to like the live view here. Yeah, I'm just not seeing. I see a lot of people, but I'm not seeing comments. So, if you see the chat area of the YouTube video, type a message, and let's see if that comment comes through. Stream is healthy. Good deal. Got a healthy stream here. So it looks like I've finally gotten the bandwidth, all the network issues straightened out. Now what I need to do is just run a, let's see, I just need a cheap 4K, probably get by with a 4K smart TV. Yeah, those things are dirt cheap now. Yeah, I just need to swap out the one that's not 4K. Okay, so enough of the tech speak there. Let's go ahead and get into the live show. I want to remind everyone this is IrixGuy's live show. Obviously, everything is appropriate. This is drones. This is cameras, travel, how to, whatever you want it to be. And it, I just had to start this show again. I'm not part of multi-channel network. I just, I run my own shows here. So I'm proud that my new studio is working. I got a really cheap over here. You can't see it here, but you can check out my website and you can see my setup. Check out my video editing equipment posts that I put on my website. But over here I've got a cheap, well, I shouldn't say cheap, but very inexpensive 4K 27-inch monitor. And then right here I've got a very inexpensive 32-inch 4K monitor. At the end down there I've got that 1080p TV. It's been on the wall for probably, 10 years. And it's going to be replaced with a cheap 4K smart TV. Because my goal here with this is to just really make this a very well organized studio. I mean, it's gotten better, but you just, one of those things, you just got to play with everything, see how it works the best, see how it looks the best, and then continue to tweak. So at least I've got the network issue resolved. The lighting, obviously I've got the light over there right now, which is not optimal. I need to rig a light on my, kind of behind my monitor for these types of shows. But again, ultimately, I want to be able to sit at that table, keep my laptop here, use my wireless keyboard and mouse, and be able to read your comments from that monitor that's on the wall. And actually what I may do to keep things simple is I may just order a cheap HDMI cable and run to that existing 1080p and see if that existing 1080p television is clear enough to view the chat messages that you send through. Because that's my main goal. When I'm live streaming, I want to be able to obviously read what you're typing. Now the next level of this, and there's a lot of channels that are doing it now, the next level with Google Hangouts, they discontinued Google Hangouts. If you ever use that, that's where you had a lot of people all face on video chatting live on a YouTube show. So that was a really cool thing. It was kind of short-lived, and so now there's several pieces of software. I've got a lot of YouTube channels I collaborate with, and they're using a utility called StreamYard. I'm using Wirecast, which I love Wirecast. That's how I can do the real-time the real-time live chroma keying, the live green screening, whatever you want to refer to it as. So, that's super nice. But, the big thing here is being able to make it easy for all of us to get together. So ultimately where I want to go with this, and I've got the capability right now, is to schedule some live shows, have a somewhat structured agenda for the show. We're going to talk about drones, we're going to talk about tutorial, we're going to talk about social media consulting. What do we want to talk about, and just have a structured agenda for that show, and then bring people on. And when I say bring people on, what I want to do is get the tool that's going to enable me to just send you an email, and then you can click a link, and then you can use your webcam, you can use your microphone, and you can join the live show, and we can have multiple people face on video, because that creates a lot of excitement. I mean, it's great, seeing all of y'all tune in and being able to type, just type within this video's comments on YouTube, and I can see what you're typing, and I can respond face on video. But where I want to take this, again, is to have multiple people in here, so that it's not just me reading your comments and responding to your comments, but have multiple people face on video, so that we can really get some exciting things going here. I'm looking at all the graphs in the new YouTube live streaming interface, and I will say this is slick. I can see people tuning in. You can probably see in the comments section, you probably see a merchandise link. I posted, I've got IrixGuy's, had it for a while, IrixGuy's Adventure Channel merch. A lot of people have picked it up, but, if you check, let me try to post this. I'm going to unpin, and then I'm going to pin the merchandise here. It should pop up in the chat. Okay, here we go. It says pin merchandise. So there should be a t-shirt come up. That's the official IrixGuy's Adventure Channel t-shirt. Got it available through that link. So, if you're looking for a really cool holiday gift idea, check that out. It's in the just posted in the chat there. So yeah, we're getting let's see. I don't know if comments are working. I've got a lot of people in here. Can anyone see this? I'm going to type, can anyone see this? So if you look in the chat section of this video, can you see the message that says, can anyone see this, that I just typed? Just kind of curious. And I haven't had any super chats yet. Super chats, that little thing down there, it says show your support for IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. You can super chat if you choose to do so. Got analytics here. Yeah, this is enable DVR. Okay, I guess that's just recording, so I can show the post as a regular video after the live show concludes. So yeah, a few things that I wanted to talk about, and the drone editing. How do I edit drone videos? That's something that a lot of y'all had requested, and I posted a few videos. I posted, let's see, I'm loading them up right now. And you can go to IrixGuy.com. I posted all of these on my vlog on IrixGuy.com. One of the videos was how to enhance Mavic Mini video quality. I've had a lot of views of that already. Basically, DJ's Travels, yes, you're coming in clear. Just curious, DJ's Travels, can you see your video quality for YouTube? Do you have the option to go as high as 1080, or is it topping out at a lesser resolution for you? Because I think this show, according to my settings, should be available in 1080. Just kind of a curiosity if you can click that little gear icon and see that. But yeah, we've got the drone. I mean, Mavic Mini, without a doubt, the newest most innovative drone to date. Now, I'm not going to say it's the best for video. Obviously, the Mavic 2 Pro is still king when it comes to the best drone for professional video. But the Mavic Mini brings USB recharging capability to the playing field. And that's super important because if you're doing off-the-grid droning and you may not have access to a car or a boat or an ATV with a power jack, using Mavic Mini is cool because you can recharge it using a USB battery bank. And USB battery banks like I use can be recharged using an included solar panel. So that makes Mavic Mini a game changer. But this video that I posted, how to make your Mavic Mini's video quality look better, that's not a strike at Mavic Mini's video quality saying it's not good. It's just saying how can you take that 2.7K, again, the Mavic Mini, at least with current firmware, does not film in 4K. But how can you take the 2.7K video, clean it up, make it look even better than it does right out of the drone? And that's what I've explained within that video. And then I've also got another video, if you haven't checked it out, it's entitled How to Upconvert Mavic Mini to 4K. Now, that's not saying that you're filming in 4K with the Mavic Mini. Oh, 1080p is enabled, yes. So that's the first time ever for IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. This is the first time that I've been able to live stream in 1080p without encountering any issues. I've got a solid connection. Audio and video are both clear. So that's great. So making progress here with these live streams. Appreciate that, DJ's Travels. Part of today's live show is me wanting to test that capability. So yeah, a lot of things going on here. I've got another video was Final Cut Pro 10 Corrupt Library Video Recovery Tutorial. So if you use Final Cut Pro 10 like I do, and if you've ever had Final Cut Pro 10 crash while in use, you may have tried to reopen that library within Final Cut Pro 10, and when you did, you may have discovered a message, and I forget the exact error message, but the gist of it was that the library could not be opened because it was corrupt. And that's a common struggle that I've encountered with Final Cut Pro 10. One time I was in a very remote location, and I'd filmed videos for IrixGuy's Adventure Channel all day. I mean, from like sunrise until sunset. And I plugged in Final Cut Pro 10 like I normally do, download all my footage to my laptop at the end of the day, and start to edit a little bit at the end of the day. But Final Cut Pro 10 crashed, and then when I tried to reopen the library wouldn't open because it was corrupt. The fact that Final Cut Pro 10 had crashed corrupted the Final Cut Pro 10 library. So when that happened, I was in a bad situation because I had, sunrise was around, I think at that time of year it was around 5 a.m. So, I had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 13 hours of video. Give or take, some gaps there when there was lag time when I was, between shoots, among shoots rather. But the fact that I had spent the entire day and imported all that video into the library, and lesson learned, never format your camera's micro or SD card until, best practice would be to take, when you're traveling and capturing video, to take multiple SD cards and keeping a copy of everything. I mean, I like to download everything, import everything into my Final Cut Pro 10 library while I'm on the road, and the reason is that what I can do, I can say, okay, library name, it corresponds with whatever event that I'm filming. And then within Final Cut Pro 10 library, for every day I'll have camera name day 1, camera name day 2, camera name day 3, etc. So I know this was a footage that I captured on this day, and this was a camera that I used. It keeps it organized. Where a lot of people fail, that are on the road filming travel videos. Where a lot of people fail is that they just download everything to the camera. They don't worry with backups. They don't worry with importing it at the end of the day. And if they happen to get home with all the footage because they didn't import the footage daily, then they probably forget, well, where did I film this or whatever? Or which day did I film this? You can look at dates within the footage that was captured on the SD card. But to make things more streamlined, I found that it's easiest just to import all that footage at the end of the day. So that's what I've always done and will continue to do. But that time when the Final Cut Pro 10 library crashed, I thought I'd lost an entire day's worth of footage. Now, I did not delete the library file because I looked at it and it was of significant file size. So, that told me that hopefully there would be a way to retrieve that footage. And long story short, that was a very scary experience because losing an entire day's worth of work is not something that's easy to digest. So that led to me creating this video, this tutorial that I just linked within the comments. That video, if you use Final Cut Pro 10, and if your Final Cut Pro 10 library crashes, that video explains what I did to browse within the corrupt Final Cut Pro 10 library file and extract the video clips. And then I was able to create, and again I mentioned it within that procedure how to do it, but create a new library file and then import the video that was recovered into that. So, scary situation, but something that at least I found a fix for. And I'd like to take it further. I mean, typically, when I'm on the road filming for IrixGuy's Adventure Channel, typically I don't do a ton of editing. So the fact that if I investigated in more depth, I may be able to discover how to do this. But the fact that I was only able to retrieve the raw video was fine for me. But for someone on the road, if that happened to them, is there a way to retrieve the edited projects as well? That's something I don't address within this tutorial because I didn't mess with that myself, because all that I had was, I had a few edits, just some quick edits, so it wasn't like a lot of time wasted. My big thing was getting the raw video back, and I was able to retrieve the raw videos. So anyway, that's hopefully a value. Also I'm working on a lot of new videos for the channel. Some of those videos being, I'm putting together a webinar, and this is coming very soon, and it'll be a free webinar, but obviously I strongly encourage you to, if you choose to attend the webinar, to use Super Chat if you choose to do so. Also, if you choose to do so, support the channel on Patreon, because what I'm going to address within this webinar, this social media webinar, are tips and tricks that I've used to grow IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. Just stuff in plain English, none of this marketing mumbo jumbo like you may have experienced with other webinars, but just something that's just very straightforward. This is what I've done, this is how I did it. Nothing, cryptic or whatever. I mean, it's just going to be DJ's travels. With Mavic Mini, would you have to turn on payload if flying with loom, light, or leg extensions? That's a great question. I've never attached, not even a decal, to the Mavic Mini, just because it's so small and so lightweight, and I didn't want to push it over the weight. Not that would matter if it did. In most situations, you probably have to register it, but so for that reason, I haven't experimented with attaching anything to it. But my assumption would be, anything that would increase the weight, the factory weight, you'd probably want to use the payload setting, because it's not it's not the same weight as it would have been out of the box without any aftermarket accessories attached. But yeah, Mavic Mini is just, talking about drones, I mean, Mavic Mini has just been a killer drone. Have you encountered any issues with the Mavic Mini yet, or has it been a solid performer for you? Yeah, it's let's see. $4K monitor. Yeah, it's just been a really rock solid drone for me. It's amazing. Wow. I bet I can get 35 feet. I bet I can get to the back of that TV. I'm going to run a long HDMI cable. Yeah, we've got a lot of people tuning in here. The network connection here seems to be holding strong. So, the other thing will be, if I'm going to sit over there at the table and keep the computer here, you know what I may do? I may plug, I've got a Chromecast. What I may do is stream to the TV using Chromecast instead of connecting an HDMI cable. That may be better. DJ's Travel says, very good flyer, talking about the Mavic Mini. Already registered for $5, wouldn't break the bank. Yeah, that I personally, and I know there's a lot of people that are paranoid out there, which is fine, but I mean, I personally don't have a problem with registering a drone. I think it's a smart thing to do. But there's a lot of people, what's interesting about the Mavic Mini, there's a lot of people that never picked up a drone prior to the Mavic Mini because they knew they would have to register it. And now, because in a lot of countries the Mavic Mini does not require registration, a lot of people have picked it up. So it's really brought an entirely new customer base to the drone hobby. So, wow, we got tons of people tuning in here now. Boom. I'm watching this. There's a real-time analytics, and it'll show me the number of people tuning in. So we've got, chat. This is a live show. If you're watching this at approximately 12:56 p.m. New York City time, East Coast time, Eastern time, then this is a live show. So anything that you choose to type, I can see it in real time here. So, and I want to remind everyone we do have the super chat feature enabled. So if you choose to super chat, you can just click that super chat icon. Be interesting to see if super chat works. Haven't really messed with it that much, but it's just a way that you can choose to support the channel. Let's see. Born 100 years too late says, you use Wirecast. Yep, actually I'm using Wirecast, and this is my first time with this setup. I've got Wirecast on this monitor here that you can't see, and then on this monitor here I've got the YouTube. YouTube's upgraded their user interface for live streaming, so I'm looking at that. I'm looking at YouTube, and I can see your comments on this monitor. So it's actually really slick. And what I want to do is get my TV over there to where I can see the chat. And then let's see. Infused Adventure says, "What's up, IrixGuy? Enjoying the Mini?" Yep, Mini is great, isn't it? I mean, it's I would say the most exciting recent drone that we've seen. I mean, it's totally new, and again, that USB recharging capability is a game changer. That's my favorite. Aside from the ultra lightweight and ultra small size, that USB recharging capability is a huge. That's what's put the biggest smile on my face with drones in a long time. And DJ's Travel says, high latency between responses. Born 100 Years Too Late says, I need to learn how to use it. Well, that's a good thing about DJI drones. I mean, once you play around with them for a while in a safe and responsible location, they're super easy to, I've found them to be just super intuitive. And I mean, they don't fly themselves, but they kind of do with the, when you got the GPS. I mean, the stability. One of the first things when I started with drones, and I was a late adopter, I started with the Phantom 2 after Phantom. I started with the Phantom 1 after the Phantom 2 had already been released for a while. But my hesitation was, something so expensive that, my expectation, having dealt with radio-controlled airplanes and radio-controlled helicopters, is that, this is a lot of money to throw into something that potentially the first time I flew it could crash or it could fly away. So, I was extremely paranoid, and it was, you're talking about, no, how to fly drones. Yeah, you're talking about how to use Node Wirecast. Wirecast, I will say, and you know what I need to do? And let me add that to my to-do list here. I'm going to create a bullet here. Create Wirecast tutorial videos. It's actually a great suggestion you had, because Wirecast is not difficult, but Wirecast is very intimidating the first time that you try to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a video with the basics. The basics being, how did I set up Wirecast to use this microphone, but my camera that I use for Wirecast also has a microphone. But how did I say, hey, use the camera for video only, use the microphone for audio only, and then how do I pop up the intro to the show, where I'm flying my drone into the island, and then how do I pop up the outro for the show? Just some basics. So I'm going to do that as the basics, and then I'm going to do a more advanced, the green screen. Because you see my large green screen in the back, and typically when I use Wirecast, I'm using a green screen to create a virtual set, using a background that I'd previously filmed. So, let's see. Infused Adventure says, what is the best for editing computer specs, and what is the best software? Well, it's a great question. And actually, let's see. Let me toss a link over here. This is something I put together a video, and then also this page on my vlog to answer that question. So check that out. It's well, actually that link kind of cut off. Let me get the short link here. This will be easy for you to get to. I'm grabbing it right now. Let's see. Yep, so this link right here, that's, and you watch my video and check out that link, IrixGuy.com. Oh, Super Chat. Oh, yeah. So the Super Chat works. Awesome. Born 100 Years Too Late. Appreciate that, man. So if you choose to Super Chat like Born 100 Years Too Late did, you can click Super Chat, and that's just a way to support the channel. That's awesome. What in particular within Wirecast would you be curious about? Just the initial setup? Are you going to try to do green screening, chroma keying, or what exactly is your objective with Wirecast? And I know it may, your initial objective. What do you want to do first with it, or what are you confused about? So yeah, this vid edit gear link that I just posted, IrixGuy.com/vid edit gear. I've been around the block. I started using a couple of computers. I started with a laptop only. It was a lower end Mac. That was back in the early days of the channel. And then I segued to the iMac, which is the desktop Mac, and I went through several versions of the iMac. Very good computer, very powerful. But I found that I had the iMac And then when I was on the road capturing the adventure travel videos, that I also had to have a laptop, but because I had the expensive desktop, then my laptop was kind of diluted, which was fine. It did the job, but it wasn't optimal. So I reevaluated what is the best setup for me with the minimal amount of spend, but still getting the best results. So checking out my link, IrixGuy.com/vid edit gear, what you'll see there is my setup, and right now I'm using the Mac Pro, which is right here. I can't lift it up because it's plugged in, but behind these monitors I've got the eGPU, the external GPU, external graphics processing unit, and basically what that is a small computer, except it doesn't have a computer in it. It's just a system board, and then it's got I'm running a very high-end Radeon video card. But what's cool about that, what that does, it feeds these multiple monitors, and I can actually add more monitors if I want to. In addition to that, the USB-C or the Thunderbolt 3, same shape as a USB-C that comes out of the eGPU, that also charges my laptop while it's in use. So it's kind of like a docking station of sorts. So what I can do when I go out in the field, instead of taking a different computer, when I go out in the field, I just unplug my MacBook Pro, and I'm taking the same computer in the field that I have in the studio. Now, that could pose to be problematic if you stored all of your data on that laptop, because if your laptop was lost, damaged, or stolen, then you could lose a lot of hard work. So what I do, my laptop is a very bare bones setup. I save all of for retention, I save all my Final Cut Pro 10 videos, the projects, the events that contain the videos, and then the projects that are the edited clips. I save all of that on I've got a 14 terabyte. I did use an array of disk in the past, a spanning disk array, concatenated disk set, but I've consolidated and switched to just a single 14 terabyte. So that 14 terabyte drive stays in my studio, and the 14 terabyte drive is always backed up to an online cloud backup service that I use. So should that drive fail, should that drive be stolen, should that drive, whatever, I've got an online backup that's retained for 30 days. So I've got 30 days to retrieve all of the videos so it's not lost. So I'm in a situation, the only thing that could happen would be going from travel destination to studio. I would have to lose my external. I travel with a cheap external hard drive, so at the end of every day, like I mentioned, I import all my videos into Final Cut Pro 10, put them on that cheap external hard drive. But as an added layer of security, what I recommend doing, and I've been guilty of not doing this in the past, and I need to do this, is having extra SD cards, so that every day when I finish filming, I take those SD cards, and that functions as a secondary backup. So should my what am I trying to say? Should my external hard drive that I travel with fail, I would still have all of those videos, not in the Final Cut Pro 10 library, but I would have all of those raw videos on the SD card. So I've got two backups while I'm out in the field, and then ultimately when I bring it back to the studio, that's copied over to the 14 terabyte USB, which then automatically starts to back up to the internet, to the cloud backup. And I don't delete the data from my portable laptop hard drive until everything has been A, copied to the 14 terabyte external USB hard drive, and B, completely updated with the online cloud backup. The cloud backup, born 100 years too late. It's not expensive at all. Let me get a link here. And I went through there's some cloud backup solutions that are expensive, and let's see. This I found to not be expensive because, let's see, let me get the, you got to get the link here. Be just a second. Okay. Aha, so I got it. Now let me get the short link and I'm going to post it here. Yeah, I actually found it to be very affordable. And one thing that's neat about the cloud backup that I use now is that a lot of them, because I was backing up, so I had two challenges. I had, number one, I'm using external hard drive that stores all my Final Cut Pro 10 libraries. And that was not a lot of your cloud backup services will not allow you to back up external hard drives. So that was a deal breaker for me with a lot of them. Some of them had quotas, which is a problem. I mean, when I've got right now, I think currently I've got about 10.5 terabytes of video. A lot of these online cloud backup services would not allow that many files to be stored. You said 30 days. Yeah, check this link. The link I just posted. That's the cloud backup that I use, and I've got a link on there that you can go to and learn more about it. But I think they may offer the ability to back up longer than that. But I think there's an additional cost if you do that. I've only done 30 days for a few reasons. Number one, if I encounter a catastrophic failure, unless I'm in front of a really fast internet connection, I'm probably going to have to pay and request for them to ship me a hard drive containing my data anyway, just because it's so massive. You may not have that problem. I mean, like I said, I've got over 10 terabytes of video currently, and that's growing daily. Another thing worth mentioning about this cloud backup service that I just linked, the Backblaze link that I just posted, is that if you've got to keep, and it'll explain when you install it if you do install it or whatever, but if you're backing up external hard drives, those hard drives have to be connected to your computer periodically. And I think it's 20 days, 30 days, I'd have to check. But for example, if you left your computer, say you're using a laptop, and you left your computer disconnected from a USB drive for, say, a month or so, what's going to happen at that point is that they're going to purge your backup files. So in my situation, I connect it at least a few times a week, so I don't have anything to worry about. But keep that in mind if you're backing up external hard drives. It's not like you can just say you've got multiple USB hard drives. It's not like you can take one, let it back up, and it's going to stay there forever. It's not going to. So if you're using multiple hard drives, you're going to need to connect each of those hard drives every few days or so that Backblaze doesn't delete your backup. Again, it's not a problem for me, and I've got it set with mine to where, should I encounter an extended period of time where I haven't connected my computer to the USB hard drive, that it'll send me an alert saying, hey, in X number of days, your cloud backup will be deleted. It is worth mentioning the initial backup, especially in my case, having over 10 terabytes, that took a long time. That took multiple months to upload all the data. But now that it's there, it's just incremental. So as I change a video, as I add more videos, it updates that, but I don't have to start from zero again, which is super nice. But again, to be very nice. So it's been a great solution for me, and I know there's a lot of other cloud backup solutions out there. But again, if you're like me, you're using Final Cut Pro 10, and you want to have unlimited, and you don't, what's the word for it? You don't want it to be a burden to use. I mean, this thing is just it's been a beast. For me, it's been a beast. So this is just and you've got settings. I'm looking in the program right now. You can set it to where you can have multiple backup threads or single. There you can, if you need to conserve your band again for the super chat there. That's tremendously appreciated. Trying to find a I'm just looking around here. Poking around. Yeah, this interface, I tell you, YouTube has fixed whatever was causing this to fail. I mean, this live stream has remained solid throughout. So I think we're on to something here. What I really want to do is plug in the Chromecast and do a screen share and see if that creates any headaches here, or if it just comes right up. You know, it's funny, I said that, now it says, error, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. It said y'all may experience buffering. That's the first time I've seen that message. And now, okay, that's interesting. So now that, can y'all still see me and hear me, or is it starting to buffer? That's kind of goofy. Okay, now it's starting to clear up. So I wonder if I had something that, it wasn't my cloud backup, but something kicked off. It was consuming a little bit of bandwidth, I think. Yeah, the congestion is going away now, whatever it was. That's weird. Okay. So we got, yeah. Buffering, yep, it says we are buffering. Okay, it should be, it's cleaned up now. I think there was, I use the cloud very heavily for storage, just because I don't have to have, well, because I can use multiple computers and I can have access to the same information, which is nice. So yeah, we've got a ton of people tuning in here. Yeah, this live show, again, this is something that, you know, now that I've got, and this carpet in here is about to be ripped out, and I'm going to have a really nice looking studio. We got Ifti Bashir. Welcome, man. Welcome aboard, dude. I remember, actually, I think you were on the one of the YouTube. Was it one of the YouTube partner training classes? It's been a long time. I think that's where you were, dude. I edit exclusively with Mac. Actually, I've edited with Mac since one of my first YouTube videos, and it's funny you ask that because I had, in the past I'd messed with, way long time ago, Windows Movie Maker, and I never really, I dabbled with Adobe Premiere on Windows a while back, but I never, a long time, and again, video editing, especially since Final Cut Pro 10 version, has become a lot more user-friendly, because in the past it was quite cumbersome, whether you're using a Windows box or a Mac. It was, but now, since I switched to the Mac, the first thing I used was just the built-in, is it iMovie, the free app that comes with OS 10? I used that, and then shortly after that, I upgraded to Final Cut Pro 10 because Final Cut Pro 10 didn't limit the duration of my video clips, and also Final Cut Pro 10 added really good chroma keying capabilities and obviously a ton of additional features. So I've been using Final Cut Pro 10 for many years, and to be frank, I don't think I would have any reason to want to use anything else. It's been organizational structure of all videos, just, it's effortless. I've got a library for each filming destination. I've got it very well organized, and it's easy to back up, again, using the cloud backup service that I just mentioned. It's easy for me to keep everything backed up. So yeah, I have no reason to to pursue any other. I mean, unless there's some sort of software that comes out for video editing that revolutionizes video editing, at that point, I might would, I might would consider using something else. But I mean, right now. So do you use Windows or Mac or combination of both? And I love Adobe products, by the way. I use Lightroom CC very heavily. I use Photoshop CC very heavily, but for video editing, and maybe I'd feel differently if I had built everything out using the Adobe Premiere workflow. I mean, maybe I'd feel differently, but yep, he said he uses Final Cut Pro 10. It's just easy to pick up and use and does the job. Exactly. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, that's what they say. So, I mean, it does the job. It does the job well. I know without a user-friendly video editing program that this channel wouldn't have grown to where it is now. And that's, I've got Apple Motion. I purchased that as well. Actually, I purchased Apple Motion and Compressor both. And Compressor I use very heavily. I'm assuming you use that too to compress your videos before you upload them. But I tell you, Apple Motion is, as far as learning curve's concerned, I don't know if you've had a lot of good luck with it yet, but I mean, I've done some basic stuff like particle creation so that I can create special effects and this, that, and the other, but that's a program I'd really like to have the time to really dig in and learn to create some really cool content, because I think it seems to be a very powerful tool for further enhancing edited videos. I mean, especially if you want to do special effects. I mean, it's got some cool, on paper, it's got some really cool capabilities there. So yeah, well, I tell you, this new YouTube interface. Have you streamed using YouTube's new live system that I'm using right now? Have you used that? I mean, I know YouTube was in beta phase for YouTube for quite a while, and part of the beta phase was the live streaming piece. And I will say I'm actually enjoying this live streaming a lot more. I tell you what I'm really enjoying is having my second monitor over here, so I can see my Wirecast, and then over here have my primary monitor where I can read all the comments that y'all are typing. So yeah, this is slick. The cat. Well, I got some bad news, and this was several. Actually, I posted a video about it on the Maine Coon Mondays. So Sean Coonery is the enormous Maine Coon cat, and arguably the most famous cat on the internet. I adopted him back in 2009, and it got to go dinner time here in the UK. Hey man, thanks for tuning in, dude. Always good to see you. I try to correct this, but he always uses litter box, and he was good about that. No problems at all. And then he got to where he wasn't using the litter box all the time, and he would use the bathroom in random places, and that was every few weeks or so. It wasn't every day, this, that, and the other. And then it got to where it was almost every day. And then it got to where it was every day. And then it got to where it was multiple times every day. And, changed his food, changed his litter box, changed the type of litter, did everything, put aluminum foil out, sprayed citrus spray where he was going to the bathroom. And long story short, he wasn't going to change. And we had a daughter. So that kind of set him off, and he was resistant to change. So this went on for a couple years. So I mean, obviously you can see I was trying to work with him, trying to figure out an issue, figure out how to resolve the problem. And it got to the point to where it's like, this isn't fair for us. This isn't fair for our daughter. this isn't fair for Sean Coonery, because obviously he's very irritated, and he's expressing that a few times a day. So we had to, and I had to rehome him, which was horrible. But it's a situation where people are like, man, how, it's like they're acting like it's some sort of thing I'm trying to sell. They're like, how much? I'm like, people, I said, I'm not trying to sell this cat. I said, I just want him to have a good home. And long story short, did a lot of did a lot of research, had a lot of people contact me, and they wanted them and this, that, and the other. And I was very cautious, because my concern was not the money. I didn't want any money. My concern was that that he be rehomed to someone that would to a home that would take excellent care of him, and where he would be super happy. So long story short, I had a lot of people. When I say a lot of people, I would say 100+ people that contacted me, and of those 100 people, I narrowed it down to about 5. And then I performed my due diligence. There's a lot of stuff that you can find on the internet, and you can make connections with this, that, and the other. You can connect people with people, and in essence, did my formal background check based upon public information, and found out that the people that adopted Sean Coonery for free were a very good family, and that they would take extremely good care of him, and that he would be happy there. So that's where he is, and I mean, ultimately, we want to adopt another big Maine Coon cat, but it'll be a situation where the new Maine Coon that comes to the house will be brought up around our daughter and everything, so he won't be put into a situation like Sean Coonery was. And yeah, but I mean, Brad, it was horrible. I mean, that's the last thing I wanted to do. And again, I mean, this struggle, I mean, I went on for 2 years. 2 years, I've tried to find a solution, tried to find anything that could be done to correct his bathroom habits, and I mean, there was no luck. So had to do what I had to do. But yeah, he's got a great home, and that's what counts. But it is a bummer. Marcus says, how old are you? 40 years old, dude. Yep, I'm old. Got gray hair. And but there's no reason to say you're old and not do things. That's why I do YouTube and go to the gym every day and drink a lot of water. Because, you got to be, you can't just get old and lazy. You got to get old and, I don't know. It's one of those deals you got to, I haven't accomplished what I want to career-wise yet. And that's what I'm working on. And this channel, my goal, again, once I hit a, let's see, once I hit 100 million views, I'm going to open this. This is the Gosling's Old Rum, and this is the Family Reserve rum. So it's a really good rum, a rum that I won't open until I hit 100 million views. So that's going to be exciting. And that's kind of one of my motivators on this channel. Again, being an independent YouTuber, you gotta set milestones, and that's one of my next mini milestone though is 100,000 subscribers. Because once I hit 100,000 subscribers, I should get a trophy saying that I've hit 100,000 subscribers. So that's kind of cool. 45, yeah, 45's old too. Marcus says me too. That's fine. Yeah, so it's you just gotta find the ways to have a good time and make money at the same time. And and YouTube is one of those things. You can monetize it in multiple ways. I mean, like these live shows. Again, the super chats are greatly appreciated. That's another way that people that choose to do so can contribute to a channel. And then there's also the let's see. Marcus says, I'm going to the Caribbean in 1 week. I enjoyed many of your videos last week. Which, if you don't mind me asking, which part of the Caribbean are you going to? Let's see. Yeah, Caribbean's a great place. Yeah, Yoast. That'll be a. If you're going from Germany, I bet you're going to St. Martin or because I think they have a direct flight from Germany to St. Martin. So that's an incredible place. But yeah, that's one of the Caribbean's one of the best places because you get down there and it's not, places like Hawaii, and Hawaii's awesome, but it's so commercialized now. I mean, you got all the big box stores of fast food, and you go to the Caribbean, there's next to no fast food. And western part of Cozumel, Cayman, and Jamaica, awesome, man. On Cayman, if you go to Grand Cayman, check out Rum Point. I would say Rum Point. And if you're there at Cayman at night, check out Cayman Kayaks at Rum Point, Bio Bay, night kayaking. So what they do, it's from Rum Point in Grand Cayman, it's called Bioluminescent Bay. And they take you out where you go out and you paddle your own kayak, and you've got glow sticks on so people can see you. But when you go out in this bay, the water glows, and you can put your hand in it, and you lift your hand up, and you see balls of light just floating down your hand, and it's some sort of sea life that produces light. But it's a really cool experience. I highly recommend that in Cayman. Also, 7 Mile Beach is cool if you want a really nice white sand beach. It is going to be crowded, and there's a lot of resorts on 7 Mile Beach, but it's still fun. But yeah, Rum Point, and be sure to go to Stingray City for sure. And there's a boat ride out of.
That's what I figured.
Oh, that was my Apple Watch. There's a boat ride from Rum Point that'll take you to Stingray City, and basically what you do there. You just go out and you're on the sandbar a few miles offshore, and hundreds of stingrays come up and swarm you while you're in the water. Wild stingrays. I mean, this is not a an amusement park. It's the real deal. So it's pretty cool. And then in Jamaica, definitely check out Negril. Yeah, if you've only got a few hours. If you only had a few hours, I would do Stingray City for sure. If I only did one thing in Grand Cayman, it would be Stingray City. And then in Jamaica, Negril is really nice. But one thing I will say about Jamaica is a great place, but it can be dangerous as a tourist. So I would definitely recommend in Jamaica. I would definitely recommend sticking with the with any sort of shore excursion that you may have. So, yeah, that'd be cool, man. Yeah, I want to remind everyone in the chat, I've got the, if you're looking for gift ideas, I've got the IrixGuy's Adventure Channel t-shirts. And you can find that linked you should see it linked within the chat. I don't know how it looks on your end, but those are really high quality shirts. I've been happy with the manufacturer, and a lot of people have enjoyed purchasing them. So let's see. Sounds extremely cool, but only have a few hours out. Already booked that. There you go, man. That's what matters. So let's see. We're an hour and 10 minutes in here. This has been a cool show. I'm gonna get offline, and I'm gonna work to finish my studio. I've got to really deck this out because we're gonna have some really cool live shows, social media tips, the social media webinar that's coming here within the next few weeks. So thanks for your viewership. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks again for the super chats. Hiccups. Super chats are just another way to support the channel. And, every piece of support helps. So thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. And let me see. I'm going to roll. Check this out. This is Wirecast. So I'm going to click play and it'll go to the outro. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.